Okay, so let's look at a little bit of the notation surrounding sets. So when we finished off, I'm just going to give you a random set. I think the one I used in the last video was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and what I told you was in the last video that these are all elements of the set A. So let's figure out how to say that instead of with words, but with mathematical notation. So I want to tell you that 6 is an element of A. So all you have to write is 6, this little E thing, like this. It's kind of like a backwards 3, little E. And 6, this means it's an element of an A. So that means 6 is an element of A. Now if I was to say to you the number 7 is an element of A. Is that true? No, it's not, because it's not up there. So what we do is we actually put a line through this, and that means 7 is not an element of A. So again, let's say 2 is an element of A. 5 is not an element of A. And you can keep doing that forever with whatever letters or numbers you want. So that's your element. So this means is an element. And this is not an element. Sorry, element. The next one that we're going to look at is cardinal number. Cardinal number. So if I was to say to you, there's our set A, we're going to keep using this set because it's a nice, easy one that we can remember. And I wanted to find out what the cardinal number of A, or this hashtag A, equals what. So cardinal number just means how many elements are in a set. So how many elements are in the set A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the cardinal number of A is equal to 5. It's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is count how many are inside those brackets, and that's going to be your answer. So that's the cardinal number, and it's denoted by a hashtag symbol here. The next thing we're going to look at is the null set. So the null set is a set with nothing in it. It has no elements, nothing inside it at all. And what you can show, so nothing inside, or no elements. So just nothing inside it. And there's two ways you can show this. You can draw it with just the two brackets like this, or you can draw it as a circle with a line through it. So that's the null set, and it just means that there's nothing inside it. It can also be called the empty set. That's another name for it. So it just means there's nothing in there, and that will become important in some questions that you might be asked. The next thing, we're going to go onto a different page and we're going to talk about subsets. So I'm going to draw our set again, just at the top to remind us. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And I'm going to call B a set, let's say 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, and C is going to be the set 2, 4, 6. Okay, so subsets. What is a subset? Well, it literally is a set inside a set. A set inside of another set. So, for example, if A is our big set, then C can be called a subset of A. So C is a subset of A. If all of C is inside of A. So let's just check that out. C is a subset of A. If all of C is inside of A, so is all of C inside of A, 2, 4, and 6, are all them in there? Yes, they are. 2, 4, and 6 are in there. We don't care about the 8 and 10. We're just thinking about the smaller part, 2, 4, 6. We can see 2, 4, 6 up there. So how we draw that in notation is we can say C subset A. That just means C is a subset of A, and that it's just a little kind of, it's like a sideways U is how I describe it. So that just means C is a subset of A. Okay, and let's look at B. Let's say B is a subset of A. Let's check that out. Is B a subset of A? Well, it has 2. 2 is the only one actually in there that's up there. So it would be a subset if all of these are inside of this one, but not all of these are inside of this one. So then it's not a subset. So we have to put a line through it. And that means B is not a subset of A. So let's just run through that one just once more, just to get our heads around that. A subset is just a smaller set of the bigger one. So there's a bigger one up here, and C is a smaller one. And C is a subset because only these numbers that are in here are all in here. If one of these wasn't in here, then it wouldn't be a subset. So let's look at B then, and B has one of them in there, but 3, 5, 7, and 9 aren't in there, so that means it's not a subset. Let's look at one more example before we go. Let's take the subset D, or the set D, sorry. The set D is going to equal, let's say, 4, 6, 7, 8. And my question is that a subset of A? Well, let's have a look. Is 4 in A? Yes, it is. Is 6 in A? Yes, it is. Is 7 in A? No. Is 8 in A? Yes. So 3 out of our 4 elements are in A, but we said that all of this thing has to be in here. So that means D is not a subset of A. And that's how we draw that. So let's just go back, have a little recap before we finish off. To say something is an element of something, you do this little E thing, and 6 is an element of A, but 7 is not an element of A. So they're just the little E with a line through it or without. The cardinal number of A is just how many elements are inside that. So that's hashtag A. And we can actually do that really quickly with one of these. What is the cardinal number of D here? We can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to equal 4. The null set is just a set with nothing inside it. So like this or like this. And then subsets are just smaller sets of the bigger one. So all of the elements in a subset have to be in the bigger set. Okay, so that's set notation.